What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are here with another back-to-back night. Mike, what's going on?
Welcome to the greatest show on earth. We have a banging show tonight, and I'm so excited, I have to tell you.
Yeah, man. It's the Mike and Mish Show, Thursday night. We got 3 guests lined up. We got one in the weight room as we speak right now. I think we are okay with we're having a little technical difficulties to start off the show here, but I think we're good. We got Big Ben Rothwell coming on first. He's going to be making his debut October 1st against Bobo O'Bannon in Monroe, Louisiana. We're going to talk to him in a second.
Boys.
Then we're going to follow him up with the former Police Gazette champion, Invicta flyweight, and she just came off the tough house. Helen Peralta will be coming on the show after Ben, and then we'll finish up the show with one half of those crazy Dodson brothers out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Eric Dodson will be on the show. We had John a couple weeks ago. Eric's been wanting to come on, so we're going to have him. With that said, we got Big Ben Rothwell in the waiting room, ready to come on. Let's bring him on right now. Here he is.
Yeah.
Big Ben. What's up, man?
Roar.
There he is. Hey, you know what? Sometimes the computers are not as good as the phones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to deal with my crummy photo and video. I tried to use the computer. It just wasn't working out. Sorry.
Hey,
It's
you
all
don't look that bad, actually, and you don't sound that bad either. So, hey, it is what it is. You made it work. I'm happy that you're here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Dude, it's good to have you on. Finally, you finally got yourself a fight in the BKFC. I got to tell you, man, you are one of the biggest signings, not to your Big Ben, but you are one of the biggest names that they've ever brought in. You have one of the most impressive resumes. When they signed you, I mean, when we met you down in Hollywood, Florida, that was back in what, June? Was that June? So
Yeah, it was June 24th in Florida.
Yeah, back in June, like everybody was excited about the new signing. You were walking around, taking pictures, talking to people, and man, it took a while, but October 1st, you finally got a fight, and it's against the name that everybody was talking about 3 months ago. So what took so long, dude?
You're asking the wrong person. I wanted to fight when you guys talked to me. I was ready to fight then, you know. So back in February, March, this was all kind of like in the works, getting talked about. And I think I officially signed in April. And I was training, you know, I was kind of in a camp anyway. I was supposed to have a fight in that May. But we came to an agreement, and I, you know, after 13 years, walked away from the UFC. So this definitely changed things for me, but I got excited because the training's been really good. It's you know, at my age as a heavyweight, MMA is becoming tough with the wrestling, the jiu-jitsu. Even though I have a passion and love for jiu-jitsu as my first martial art, you know, it's boxing is become the new love. I've always loved striking. You know, it's what I had at my gym that I own.
I mean,
but let's just be honest. People love a knockout.
I mean, like to be honest with you, for someone that says that, you know, your love is for jiu-jitsu, but you do like striking, you can just look at your record, man. 39-14 out of your 39 victories, you have 28 knockouts. That's like absolutely insane. It's a ton of it. You had a shit ton of your victories were by knockout. Not too many submissions on there, man. So for being a jits guy, I think this sport is kind of made for you, you know?
Yeah, let's be honest. I love knocking people out. And earlier in my career, I was using my legs and knees more. And as I got, you know, and moved on, it was just a lot came from my hands. As you can see, boxing is just, but prior to MMA, I was boxing, and I've had a couple of professional kickboxing matches. So it's not like I'm just I hear that dropped a lot watching the BKFC is, oh, this, you know, MMA guy, and how's he going to adjust? Listen, before MMA, before boxing, I was fighting. I've been fighting for my whole life. I was fighting. And guess what? They still put some wrist straps on BKFC. When I was fighting on the street, there was no ref and there was no wrist wraps of any sort. So it was just pure knuckle. And, you know, obviously the technique and the competition might not have been as high, but it's got its own thing because you don't know what's going to happen, and your life's at risk. And that's it. I've been fighting my whole life. I was born.
Ben, you brought up a good point there, because a lot of people do say that, oh, when these MMA fighters come over to bare knuckle, they're going to get a rude awakening.
Yeah.
All the best BKFC fighters, all their fucking champions are former MMA fighters. Yes, Luis Palomino, Johnny Bedford. These guys are all fucking former MMA fighters that came
Lorenzo
over.
Hunt was in MMA.
Lorenzo Hunt, like Alan Belcher is fighting for a title.
Yep.
He's doing just fine. Guys, Quentin Hero Henry's about to fight Lorenzo Hunt. He's got a very nice MMA record as well. Like Mike Perry, Mike Richmond, they're all MMA guys. So that theory is stupid.
Yeah.
Right?
It kind of out the window sometimes.
Yeah, it's about time we flush that statement down the fucking toilet and just say that this is a great new sport and a lot of people are flourishing in it, coming over from different sports, and let's just see what happens. Now you're fighting a guy in Bobo O'Bannon who has had 7 fights for the BKFC. He is a fan favorite. He's 4-3. He's had some good wins. He's fought some tough guys and has some tough losses. Bobo, what do you know about Bobo O'Bannon? And what are you expecting when you step in there October 1st? A quick one, a long war? What are you thinking, Ben?
One, I don't want you guys to come at me like I'm correcting you. You're the masters. You're the BKFC experts. I'm pretty sure he's 3-3 in BKFC, and he had that one win against Monroe outside in a different organization. Am I right?
You're right. I meant okay. You're good. You're right. You're smarter than me. Okay, Ben. You're smarter than me. Those Kenosha guys. Those are smart boys up there.
Yeah, so I've been paying attention. I watch everything. I've been trying to get more, familiar with everybody. Watching Lorenzo and watching the 185ers, and the Marine. I'm liking him. He's from Minnesota, another Midwest guy, and he's solid and he's fun, and definitely got some great guys. You know what I mean? It's one thing that doesn't lose its appeal though, is that we are using knuckles, and when you talk to people, it scares people. It scares other fighters. I know it scares boxers that are used to having their hands wrapped. Like, this is another animal, and this is the men and women that compete in this. Hey, we're bad motherfuckers, period. And I'm happy to be here for that. I know what I know what I'm about, and I know what I can do. Now it's just showing all of you that, and it has to happen on Bobo. Tough guy, and he called me out first, and I obliged, and I kept saying his name, and they made this fight. But I don't care how many fights. You could have no fights. You could have 50 fights. It doesn't matter to me, because when I'm in that cage, when I'm in the squared circle, as they like to say, it's not going to matter. None of it's going to matter. And he's going to realize real quick that he didn't realize what he got himself into.
So I have to ask you about the weight situation, right? Because I don't know if are you in the Only Hands group? Have you joined that group? It's one of the bigger bare knuckle groups. Funny. There's all sorts of drama going on in there, and there was a lot of talk about the weight.
It's one guy. Let's.
Yes, there is.
And he.
Do you know who he is?
So my friends were like, dude, he's pissed my friends off because they weren't really saying anything, I didn't think crazy, and then he starts calling me names and stuff. Nobody's gonna just say, "Oh, thank you, sir. Call me another," And he's calling keyboard warriors. It's like, keyboard dude, you brought mine and calling me a cheeseburger. Yeah. Who are you? You're gonna stand face to face with me. So I see coaches, Big Frank Tate and stuff like that.
Right.
Went on there, told me all about, you can read his comments on there. Obviously, they pointed to me just now. I had to read this stuff before I came on.
Yeah.
So he's a coach, but it's just like, first of all, it's not. I don't even understand why this guy has a problem with me. I've never met him, never done anything, and it's not even his fight. It's not even his fighter. Like, it's nothing to do. Second, the only thing I have a big issue with is he's going off about the weight class. Listen, it says I seen the Wikipedia, but he doesn't know. Like, when I signed, this was my friends were trying to tell him, I signed under unlimited heavyweight. Like, there wasn't no weight class, and obviously with Triller just got involved, and Dave Feldman has been talking to me. Like, we're going to make adjustments. They're going to create I think 275 is going to be the number next year. But for right now, it was just like they're making matches based off whatever. And honestly, I don't think there ever should have been a cap on heavyweight. let us be what we are. We're monsters. Like, you know, I know there's some
Find a weight and fight.
Yeah, and they just in London they had a 300-pound guy fight a 236-pound guy. Nobody
They
cared.
did.
Nobody minded. You know,
Right.
to that card. So get over it. We're heavyweights. You know, I don't think there has to be anything. So I don't know if he's just worried because when I'm gonna have to fight his guys, it's gonna bother him that I'm gonna be a lot bigger and stuff. But listen, man, 275, 285, it's not gonna matter. Like
I didn't even know this was going on until Mike told me today, and I forgot who it was. But you told me that it was Frank's coach, which is weird to me because, like you just said, Frank doesn't have anything to do with this fight. So
yeah,
what's the big deal?
Old post calling me names, saying all this stuff. It's like, dude, I'm gonna run into you. Like,
yeah, it ended up being like a decent sized thread.
Talk shit or the dumbest, it's the worst shit in my library. I hate it. You're not even the one fighting. You're talking shit for the other guy. And this shit, when I grew up, I'd watch it. There's always that little fight starter, little dude talking shit. Oh, my boy's gonna beat your ass, and then he never even fighting. You know who I like? Whose ass I like to whoop? That guy. That guy's the one who needs his ass whooped.
Yeah. And now his fighter's gonna have to end up stepping in front of him.
Personal. Talk shit. Tell me I'm all these things because now I'm gonna take it out on Bobo. And I'm gonna take it out on your guys. Like you have no fucking clue what I'm about.
Ben Rothwell's coming in hot.
I love it. Ben's coming in fired up. He's been wanting to fight since April. God damn it, it's about time. Now you guys are co-main on the very first Monroe, Louisiana card, BKFC 30, I believe it is. Which blows my mind that they're already at number 30. This sport just keeps on pumping these events out, which is very cool. Have you become a fan of this? Were you a fan of the sport before you signed, or was this like just you were leaving the UFC and you were just looking to stay active and maybe try something new? Were you a fan of it before you signed?
Well, I'm an advocate of all combat sports. You know, boxers making money, good for them. Keep doing it. People started making money. I was happy when they, I think the Paige Manzant thing kind of didn't go right. She's 0-2 now. But hey, listen, she didn't come cheap. And the fact that they're able to take care of her was a big deal. And I know there's a couple other fighters that have kept some headlines. And just people have to understand, even the other MMA organizations, it's opportunities for us. There's a lot of fighters. We need other places to go. So this was, I was supporting it. Obviously, a few years ago when it first started, I wasn't paying too much attention because people were just kind of like freaked out by it more than anything. But I think the last couple of years, it's really turned a corner. This year especially, I can see the fan base growing and people getting behind it. I think from what I've seen from that bare knuckle group especially, it reminds me of back when I started MMA. In the year 2000, 2001, 2002, people thought MMA was insane. Only freaks did it. This stuff's so crazy. And there was a group of people that loved it. They started the underground. They had forums, and they were like this collective people that loved MMA. And I see that happening with bare knuckle boxing right now. I see these group of people that are like, they're about this life. They don't care about the other sports so much. And that's the fans we need. Those are the ones that I'm fighting for. I want to win them over as fans because I'm the new guy. They don't know what I'm about. Well, I believe you probably like seeing someone get knocked the fuck out, and that's what I'm about. So
I love hearing that shit out of you. And I've been telling people, man, so like I'm 40, you're 40, Mike's 39 years old. We're all from the same era. And like we were watching UFC 1 in 1993, like stealing it off of a black box. Off the black box, dude. Back then it took a long time for MMA to get accepted by the masses in the United States. Like you said, it wasn't until like Tough One that people really started like getting behind MMA, and then it just blew the fuck up after that. After Dana and the Fertittas got their hands on it,
but it even took till 2016 for New York to step in.
Right?
Like that.
You got to admit that bare knuckle is on a faster trajectory right now, and it's because of the groundwork that MMA did for combat sports. Boxing was before, and then MMA came through, and in the last 30 years they've been setting everybody, they've been winning the world over as far as combat sports goes. Now BKFC's around. We're in the fifth year right now, and I would say like the trajectory of
two COVID years.
And 2 COVID years in there, they're probably growing at a faster rate than MMA was at the time. Would you agree?
just from what you said, why MMA over the last 20 years has blown up combat sports in general.
Mm-hmm.
Now people got a thirst for what they like to watch of MMA. They don't like watching Ben Askren land a guy for 3 rounds. And what do they like? They like seeing a Ben Askren get knocked the fuck out, and Masvidal became a huge champ. Why? Because that's what the general population understands a knockout. And
Right.
this has been talked about for many years now. What is it? Why is striking pushed so much? People love knockouts. There's a group of people that do jiu-jitsu that watch intricacies of MMA and go, oh, look at this guard pass and watch this and look at that choke. And they like it and it's cool. But the fan base overall isn't nearly as big as watching someone get knocked out. Like that's basic bottom line. And what does bare knuckle promise? Someone's going to get beat up. Someone's getting knocked out. It's all on the feet. And I think that's the exciting part. Now you just add this bare knuckle aspect. It's closer to a street fight. And let's be honest, if a fight breaks out somewhere, me and the whole everybody stops whatever we're doing. Watch. That's human nature. And bare knuckles, it's tapping into that primitive cycle of what we are as human beings. And like here, these two people, these are just going at it, blowing, and like that's it. I think we catch on that excitement and we're riding. Dave Feldman jumped on this at the right time, catching this wave of combat sports.
He did. And you know what? A perfect example of what you just said there. Like a lot of people are just now starting to get, catch wind of this sport. Like when we were down in Albuquerque, we ran into this guy, Mike, who owns Sons of Liberty Gunworks, a really cool guy. Shout out to him. He's stayed in touch with us. He's very cool. But we ran into him and his wife. He's very much into UFC and combat sports, but we're talking to him and I'm like, do you know about bare knuckle? He's like, I've heard of it. I haven't really seen it too much. I'm like, why don't you come down to the event center on Saturday and check this out? He came down with his wife. Halfway through the show, me and Mike run into him at their seats. And he was like, dude, this is so far and beyond what the fuck I thought it was going to be. He's like, this is absolutely insane. I love it. I love every bit of this. He was just like blown away by the whole production.
Yeah, they loved it.
The action. It was like the first 4 fights were 4 finishes. And then at the end of the night, we're over there by the ring and we're actually talking to what's his name? Fucking Lando Vernado. We were over there chatting with him. Yeah. And Lando walks away and we turn and Mike and his wife are standing there and he's like, I just wanted to tell you guys one more time. Thank you for getting us down here because this just fucking blew my, like he's like, we're fans of this now. This is absolutely
his wife like high five.
I'm like, dude, what did you this is what we told you when we told you need to get down there. This is everybody can relate to this sport. Everybody who has a sibling, everybody who's been in the street, everybody who's thrown a fucking bare fist in their life can really relate to what the hell you're watching in there. It's a little more skilled. Obviously, these guys are professionals, but you know what you're watching.
Agreed. The live events is a big deal because I watched it on TV and I'm like, this is what I'm watching fighting. And I came to that live event and you hear the way the sound, it makes a distinct sound.
Yes.
Here in MMA or boxing, it has a very distinct, that skin sound, that smack, that's just like, whoa, it gets you into it. The live events are where it's at. And then once you go to one, you're like, okay, I'll watch this whenever because you got that feeling, you kind of know what's going on. And yeah, that's it, man. That's what I'm here to do is get more people involved. And I know there's an MMA group that's following me. They're really interested in this fight. A lot of the media as well. So it's a big deal. October 1st, we're going to make some new fans.
Bullfrog official actual says wet meat. I don't know what that.
That's the sound that it makes.
The sound that it makes. Wet meat.
Some meat, Yeah,
that's fucking funny. And to be honest with you, dude, not to sound like a salesman here, but BKFC selling their product to the masses for $4.99 a month and getting all the fucking events is like. I feel like they're robbing themselves, but I know what they're doing. They're trying to grow the fan base as much as possible and sell the sport as much as possible. And, maybe 2 or 3 years down the road, they're selling actually like, $50 pay-per-views, like whatever. But I mean, anybody that wants to see this, you guys want to see Big Ben Rothwell throw down with Bobo O'Bannon on October 1st, get the app for $4.99. It's a gallon of gas for Christ's sakes.
Go to my Instagram and use my link.
It's right at the bottom. Yep. It's right at the bottom of the screen. Use his referral code right there, referral.bareknuckle.tv/Rothwell and help the fighter out as well, man. It's
the best value.
For sure. I could not agree agree more. And you know what? For $49.99, you get the whole year, which is a no-brainer. You get 43 events for $49. It's crazy. It's like $1.15 a fucking event.
You hear that, Dave? We're gonna list to everybody.
Hell yeah.
That's it, man.
I have a question for you from back when we were in Hollywood, Florida, and you jumped up into the ring and you were feeling it out, bouncing around and stuff. And then all of a sudden you look over and the heavyweight champ standing there, Arnold Adams. And you walked over and you guys talked to each other. It seemed cordial. What did you guys talk about?
I think I just asked him about his feeling in the ring. I wasn't moving around as much as I wanted because I had socks on. I should have just went barefoot, but obviously shoes is a big advantage. Not slipping. See, I had 23 years in MMA. I was always been barefoot, so shoes is a new thing. But the power you can generate from digging in, it's just made my striking, that much better. And I was just kind of asking him some questions about that. He told me he was 275. I was kind of interested in his weight, and just said, "Hey, man, looking forward to doing it sometime." So we took a photo. I think we did a face-off too.
Yeah.
He was just totally laid back.
He also did a face-off with Greg Hardy outside the event that night. We got a video of that. That was.
Oh, everybody pushes for that one. You guys, I think it's exciting for everybody, for me to be part of. So he got a boxing match, an actual boxing match the week after. I'm guessing he's getting a can to beat up, but whether it's him, that's fine. But I want to have a good performance and literally get to one of these top 5 guys. Belcher, I don't think many guys are looking forward to fighting him. But like I said, I mentioned Tate, even Beltran, and I don't think they're gonna let me fight the champ after one win. So I'm gonna have to beat probably one of those guys to get to him. But let me. I think any of those top 5 guys is like, hey, we can make that a main event. People are gonna be excited. And
man, I can't wait for this.
Let me just. October 1st is where it's at, though. It's actions speak louder than words, and I got to show what I've been holding out on. So.
I think like after this fight, say you happen to win against Bobo, that Mick Terrell would be a good fight. He's a tall guy, big guy. He just fought in the London card, heavy hands.
Him and the other there. So he was in the middle of the card.
He fought Shoemaker.
So he's probably he looks the part.
Yeah.
There's plenty of guys to fight. So
Mick is also a former BKB heavyweight champion too. He came from the one out of England, BKB, came over to BKFC. So he is a former champion. I think he was 3-0, 4-0 before he came to BKFC. So he's a very skilled fighter. That would be a good one too. Man, dude, I cannot tell you how excited everybody is to finally see you get in there, especially after running into you down there in June. And we thought it was going to be sooner than now. But October 1st it is. You guys need to get on his social medias, follow him, use his referral code, buy the app, watch the fights. And Ben, we do a thing at the end of our interviews. We ask 5 questions that have nothing to do with fighting. Before we get you out of here, you want to do one?
Uh-oh.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Are you guys, real quick, I'm going to ask you guys a question first. Are you going October 1st?
I believe. I am 97% sure that Mike and I will be there.
Yeah.
We've had some funny communications lately about that, but I think we will be.
Yeah,
for sure.
It'll be cool. Good to see you guys again.
Hell yeah, man. Oh man, I can't wait to see that one live for sure. Here we go. Speed round with Big Ben Rothwell, the king of Kenosha. Hey, wait a minute. Before we ask you this question, the Kenosha Kickers. Anybody ever bring up the Kenosha Kickers to you?
No.
What?
No.
You don't know what? Do you not know what that is?
No.
Oh my God, that is John Candy's polka band from Home Alone.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's true trivia.
Yeah.
The polka.
Yes, exactly.
I remember.
Dude, that's the name of his band, the Kenosha Kickers. It's fucking hilarious to me. He was on his way to Wisconsin and he stopped in Chicago to drop off Kevin's mom. Little trivia for you there. Number 1 for Big Ben Rothwell. Here we go. You have to eliminate one of these actors in their entire catalog from existence. Which one are you Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Keanu Reeves, or Tom Cruise? Who's going?
right, we're going to leave. I'll tell you who I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone because they had a huge impact on my early childhood.
Yeah.
Why I love barbarians and cutting people up and destroying things and all the things I shouldn't. But that was me as a little kid. So I'm not messing with those two. Keanu Reeves and Tom Cruise is tough. It's like easier but tough because they both had roles. And Keanu Reeves got to do The Matrix, which is probably more mind-blowing at the time. High as shit as a young high schooler.
Yeah.
So Tom Cruise got to go. And that's a tough one.
There it is. That was good answer. That's everybody's answer. Sorry, Tom.
Yep, 3 out of 3.
There you go. Mike.
What toppings are on your perfect pizza?
Doesn't exist. Sorry, dude.
No
Such
perfect.
thing as a perfect pizza?
It can't be. The word perfect is a big deal for me. It's just
Okay.
like God's pizza. But
What's your go-to?
A go-to pizza. I like that. I like all the peppers and onions and black olives, and it's got to have the right kind of Italian sausage and pepperoni. The cheese has to stick. If you pull it up and the cheese slides off, it's garbage.
It's got to be at least a 7.5 on the One Bite app, right? All right, number 3. When was the last time you overtrusted a fart?
I don't know. I'm just like very open. I don't let it.
The funny thing is, Kyle asked this to a coworker earlier, and he goes, "Hey, when's the last time you overtrusted a fart?" And he goes, "Very recently, actually." You know, like he just said it instantly. He knew right away. He was like, "Hey, this just happened like this morning."
Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, I don't want to tell you when, but it just." No, go ahead. What'd you say?
No, I was just like, yeah, May 26th at 2:30 p.m. I should.
Oh yeah, he knew right away.
My buddy Larry at work, shout out Larry, says that he overtrusts a fart at least 3 times a year. The guy's a fucking psychopath. I'm telling you. All right, number 4.
What is your favorite 80s movie?
Oh man, that's tough. What had the biggest impact on me? I went to my 2 big ones was Bloodsport and Conan the Barbarian.
Oh,
original track, Conan the Barbarian wins.
Fucking A. There you go. Good answer. I've been pushing Goonies on my kids a lot lately. So. No, you don't like the Goonies? Come on.
Compared to Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, I know, but you don't like you're not a Goonie fan? Come on. All right,
I like Conan the Destroyer.
No,
Conan the Barbarian, Mike. Get your shit together.
I like the
Destroyer turned ultra corny.
That's why I liked it, I think.
All right, last question for you, Ben. Who's the last human being you were scared of?
I'm gonna say my mom.
Dude, Kyle called it. Called it. He said that's who he thought you would pick. He said it, and I was like, I don't know. I said my dad. You said your mom.
Do you know why?
I'm and dad to put fear of God in me at a point. You know, remember I grew up. They were old school, and they whooped our ass when we were naughty. So they were both scared of both of them for a period of time.
There it is, man. Big Ben Rothwell. You are fighting Bobo O'Bannon. October 1st, Monroe, Louisiana. Finally, there it is. There's the graphic. Everybody get on his social media. Follow Ben. If you're not already following Ben, if you're a combat sports fan, you should already be following him. But his information is at the bottom. His referral code's at the bottom. Go ahead, get the app. Tune in on October 1st. Ben, you got any final words? Just
great to be on here. It was really fun meeting you guys in Florida, and you guys are awesome.
Thanks.
Bare Knuckle needs you guys, so thanks for doing what you do.
Hell yeah.
And man, big deal. I know some fighters get whatever. I've been around too long, so I know the value and I know how important you guys are. So thank you for doing what you do.
We appreciate that big time, Ben. And it was nice to meet you in Florida. Nice to have you on the show, and we can't wait to see you on October 1st. So we'll see you then, bud.
Thank you, guys.
All right, take it easy. The king of Kenosha, Ben Rothwell, dude. Anybody that isn't already a fan of Ben, go ahead, watch some of his highlights. He had a very long, successful UFC career. Dude, he fucking finished guys like, Alistair Overeem, Stefan Struve, Rico Rodriguez, fucking Josh Barnett. I mean, like he's got a
Oven St. Preux.
Oven St. Preux. He's got
Mitrione, Overeem.
Dude, The guy's got a
Shaw.
resume. He's got one of the most impressive resumes coming into the BKFC from the UFC. And that's not a shot at like anybody else that's come from the UFC. It's just like the guy's been around forever. He beat a lot of the biggest names, and now he's going to fight Bobo O'Bannon on October 1st. And we're really excited about that. We have our second guest who has patiently waited in the virtual green room down there. She has a fight coming up in Invicta, but we are very interested to hear about her experiences lately and her thoughts on some of the things that have gone down lately. She is Helen Peralta. What's up, Helen?
What's up, guys?
There you are.
We need sound effects. I feel like an explosion would have worked there, or like like do that noise, you know, the horn.
Yeah. One of these days, we will start vamping up the show a little bit with like a soundboard and like sound effects and music and stuff. But little do you guys know, it's just me and Mike. It's just me and Mike. That's it. But what's going on? What's going on, Helen? How are you?
I'm good. It's a little bit tired and worn out, but I'm good. I survived another day.
You survived another day. Now you are fresh out the tough house. You are back in Invicta. You got a fight against Pollyanna. What's her name? Pollyanna Batello. How do you say her last name? Batello.
I know as much as you know. I know I know it was written, but I never heard her name like said out loud by someone who knows how to pronounce it. So we're gonna go with your version.
Yeah, let's go with Batello. So the tough. Let's start out with this. Last time we talked to you, you were in a hotel in Vegas. Me and Mike were really prying at you, trying to figure out. We were trying our ass off. We're like, what are you doing in Vegas? I know there's an event this weekend. Did somebody fall off the card? Are you trying to get in there? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. You were like, I really can't tell you. And then some fucking person came to the door.
Yes.
To take your picture or something. And we were like, who is that? What's going on here?
What's on their shirt? But
it turns out that you were a contestant. You were a competitor on their latest season of Ultimate Fighter, Pena versus Nunes. And, a lot of people always have a lot of like crazy things to say about living in that tough house. What was the experience like over there at Tough?
It was, it was just a little boring. You're locked up in there. You can't do anything. You can't have any music or your phone or a book.
No music?
No music either. So it's like, you just locked up in
Russia?
there. I know, right? Even in Russia, they have music. It's not good music, but they have music.
Yeah.
So it was boring. I don't like sharing my space with people, but I knew what I signed up for, and I was going to do it, and I did it. So that part, I expected it to be like this because I watched the previous seasons of The Ultimate Fighter. I was disappointed after the show aired when I saw the way they edited it. Like, they left anything that was worth watching. Anything that was TV worthy, they left it out because apparently Disney owns ESPN, and it was horrible. This is the worst season of The Ultimate Fighter, and guys, I was there. It was not that boring in the house. There was a lot of good things they could have used, but they sanitized it so much. What they came up with was so boring. I had to skip some of it. It was just like, what? I felt like I wasted all that time. When I spoke to you guys, I was quarantining for 5 days. Because I tested positive. So I thought I had COVID going into the house because they convinced me I did. Because there was this one guy his whole job was the COVID representative, whatever. And without COVID, he doesn't have a job. So he was on my ass the whole time. Even when I was in the house, the first couple of days, I had to wear a fucking mask for training. I developed a sinus infection. The whole thing was just kind of fucked up.
Damn, man. Well, Helen, I'm going to be honest with you. I watched that season up until the episode after your loss, which I thought your loss was bullshit. Maybe I was watching it with a biased eye or something like that, but I really did. I would have to go back and watch it again. I thought that you won the fight, or it should have gone to a third round, or did it go to a third round?
It went to a third.
I think
it did. It went to a third round, and I thought you won the fight.
Yes.
And I watched one more episode after that, and then I fucking stopped watching. I didn't watch the rest of it.
I don't blame you, dude. I was shocked. I was shocked by the way they edited it because it wasn't that boring. Because even after, I didn't lose the fight, but because when I had the sinus infection, I thought it was COVID and they test me every day. So I started putting sanitizer on my nose to cheat the test. And what I did was that I destroyed the inside of my nostrils. And then I had a huge scab and I couldn't breathe through my mouth. So I decided to point fight instead of fight. But I thought I won the point fighting. But then I found out later that her dad died while she was on the house. So they wanted to replicate the Michael Chiesa moment from season 18. So they gave it to her. However, because I did not cry out, I'll take some of the responsibility. I am not mad with the decision at all. They could not have given it to her if she was unconscious. You know what I mean? I thought that I was gonna gas out, so I decided to choose point fight. And then at the end, I wasn't gas out and I didn't pull the trigger. So that's on me. So I'll take responsibility for that one. I don't think she won that fight. But then again, I allow that to happen and I have to take responsibility. You can't just always blame other people for your mistakes.
Understandable. So before that fight, there was the weigh-ins. I think you might have put this out. Wasn't there something that happened at the weigh-ins and then they had to reshoot the weigh-ins? Did you say this?
Yeah, they censored me from day one. So during the weigh-ins, here's the thing. I don't cut weight from 125. So, but I ate the night before and I was half a pound over with my fight shorts and a bra because I always weigh like a fighter, you know. I don't go out there in lingerie because it's not my personality. But then the bigger girls in the house, like my opponent, and there was another female fight going on the same day, they use all the hot water. That's another thing. There was a lot of difficulties in the house when it came to hot water. We didn't have hot water or sauna. It was a problem. So I only have to lose half a pound. So instead of like trying to figure out how to hit up the water, I decided to put tape over my nipples and weigh in because my bra weighed half a pound. That's it. So I come out and then I get in front of the girl and they weren't expecting me to do that. So then they say, oh, we had to reshoot because Disney. I'm like, because my opponent had like a tiny little triangle barely covering her nipple as a bra. I had the same amount of covering. It's just that it was tape. But they made us redo it. That's why I was fully dressed and pissed. That's why I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll make you a cake. I don't know. What do you want me to say? Something nice? I'll cuddle you in the cage. Like, what's going to do it for you and Disney? You know, I don't know.
So if you came out with 2 triangles of tape over your nipples and then just took a Sharpie and drew the lines up and around, you think they would have let that go?
Maybe I didn't think about that. You know,
oh man,
you're a genius, man. I didn't think about that.
That's fucking ridiculous. I swear to God, man, Disney owning that shit takes away all the possibilities of like something like that happening or a let me bang bro moment or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
try to be too PC.
There's some classic moments that happen in the Tough House, and honestly, if you don't let that shit be seen, like it's really unwatchable.
It is because the whole point it was for people to see the personalities of the participants, not the fighting. If you want to see the fight, you should tune in to Fight Night or the Contender Series.
Right.
I sacrificed 6 weeks of my life to be in there in an environment that I don't like. I don't like people in my general vicinity. I don't want to hang out with all these girls that are messy, that don't clean after themselves. And I am like military style. It's not my environment. I put myself through all of that. I was a little bit. I taught so many cooking classes there. I taught people how to pour wine, how to cook steak, how to meal prep. They edited all of that out and they just portrayed me like an asshole. It's like, wow, okay.
You know what? Actually, some Joe Ivy said earlier they portrayed you. They made her look unprofessional, and like an unprofessional fighter who was a drunk.
Yeah, not only that was the only one who cut weight for all the other fights. That just in case somebody missed weight, and they left that out too. I would cut weight by myself in my room where the other girl needed all this special equipment, a special curtain, a bunch of tea kettles. I would go there in the back and I would cut weight and I would show up for weighing on weight. Some of the other girls like, oh, you're hungry because you want to. I'm like, I came here to fight. So I am going to cut weight in case somebody falls out. I am ready. I was hoping they would at least use that to let people know that I was there for the fight. The other people were there to eat food. Nobody else cut weight when they didn't have fights coming up. Only I did that. But they also cut that off. So it's like, you know what? Whatever. This is just bullshit.
Did you make some friendships that are going to last like the rest of your life in there? It seems like every tough season you get some people that like become like soulmates with you. Did you make any of those?
Yeah, I think I did. You know, I don't know if it's going to be a lifetime because, you know, people change. But I became really good friend with Juliana Miller and the coaches on the Peña side, because I got to spend some time with them during the show. And then I also went to her training camp because I was also preparing in case something came up for me, you know, to be ready for anything. I just wanted to, the moment I got out of the house, I just wanted to fight. And then I found out I wasn't allowed to fight until the finale. And it's just like, dude, I don't want to be in this contract. I never liked the tough contract, but I didn't know they would make you sign it before the show started. That's where they got me. You sign that contract before the show starts. I didn't know that. I was going to win the show. That was my plan, and then not sign with them because it's a horrible contract. It does not have an out clause. The only out clause you have is that you are hauled up onto the finale. So if you do not compete in the finale, you're a free agent. So that's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to burn any bridges, because I don't want to go back. I just don't want to go with that contract. I just don't like that contract.
You know, talk a little bit about, like, can you be Juliana Pena seemed like an excellent coach. As far as when I was watching the few episodes that I watched, she seems like a fucking hell of, like, she's right in there with you guys and very, very, you know, informative the whole time you guys are in the gym. And when you watch a lot of the tough seasons, you know, some coaches are better than others, and some of them don't seem like they give a fuck to even be there. They're there for the show, you know, just for the show. Juliana seemed like she's one hell of a coach. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and she complimented, like, her coaches complimented her very well. You know, there was some you know, things here and there, but like she handled herself really well, and she was really trying her hardest. And I think it comes from the fact that people are always doubting her whole career. You know, after my favorite fighter is Amanda Nunes, and that's the team I wanted to be on. I told Juliana that directly, straight to her face. I just ended up in her team because she's smart. You know, she knew I was the best fighter there. I still know I was the best fighter there, even though after that happened. But you know, she always feel like she had to do things way better than everyone else to get the same recognition. And I identify with that because I feel like I have to go so much harder than everyone else to get the same kind of attention. And just to get half of what other people have, I have to work so much harder than them. So I think that because of that, she really put it on. She was a really good coach. She was really somebody that was there when you wanted to talk, you know, about strategy, about game plan. And you can hear her shouting. Like, if you watch any of the fights, you can hear Juliana's voice
Yes.
through the whole fight.
Yeah, that seems like a good experience for you.
She was very involved. She was really, really involved in the coaching there.
When she was picking you, they happened to mention, like, hey, Helen Peralta, she's a bare knuckle fighter. She's a badass. So talking about bare knuckle fighting, there was a fight recently that happened in Albuquerque, just 2 weekends ago now. Our next guest, Eric Dodson, fought there. His brother John fought there. And the champ, Christine Faria, your former opponent, also fought there against Taylor Starling. Did you watch it, and what did you think?
I never miss a bare knuckle event. I love that sport.
Yeah.
You know, I heard you guys in the previous interview talking about that sound that you hear when you know, when that bag of bone hits the face. I love that sound. So I don't miss any of the events. So I did watch that fight. I was suspecting Christine to win, obviously, because you know, Taylor, she's not at that level. They try to build her into that, but she wasn't. And I know that because I don't look at records. You know, records are for DJs. But so I don't look at that. I look at who you fought. I'm not a DJ. We're fighters, right? So I don't look at, you know, what the numbers are. She's undefeated. She's 3-0. She's the only one that's undefeated with more than 2 fights in bare knuckle. However, she's way overrated because of that. Now, I don't think it's her fault. I think the promotion was trying to build her up, you know, and they did so good at selling this that people actually believe she had a chance against Christine, which I thought was amusing. I had so many people messaging me like, "Hey, I'm gonna bet. Like, what do you think about Taylor?" I'm like, "Dude, if you don't like your money, yeah, bet on Taylor. Now, if you want to make money, I will bet on Christine. She's gonna smash her." She goes, "How soon?" I'm like, first round or maybe the second if Christine is trying to be like extra careful, but I don't see it going any more than 2 rounds. What I did not expect was for her, after all that hype, all that money invested from the promotion to hype her up and all that, they put the entire machine behind this girl. For her to turn around and say, "I can't do it," I had never seen that before. I'd never seen that before, ever. In the time I've been watching combat sport, I never seen someone just turn around and say, "I can't do it," especially not even being hurt. Yeah, you got punched in the face, a bare knuckle fight. That's what happens when you go into a bare knuckle fight. If somebody's going to punch your face, that's normal. But I've never seen someone just turning around and say, "I can't do it." And I'm not saying that she would have stick there, like she would have won the fight, but you go on your chill. Like, that's what we're known for, you know? When I fought Christine, I lost vision of my left eye on the very first round. When I got hit, I thought somebody throw an object into the ring because I almost felt like I saw something flying from the ground into my face. That's, you know, in the heat of the moment, that's what I thought happened, right?
Wow.
So I looked, that's why I'm looking on the first round, I'm looking to the ground, I'm moving back, thinking, is the referee gonna do something about this? Somebody hit me. I'm like, this fucking hillbillies. Somebody hit me with a can. I swear, I thought it was a can of something, a can of soda, beer that hit me because it was so sharp and the lights were out. Like immediately, it was just like a light bulb was turned off. And then when I went back to the corner, instead of being like, oh, I can't do it, I just pretended I could see. You know, I lied about it so I can let me go back there because I'm like, this bitch is gonna pay for that. And then I realized, I'm like, wait, she's way better than me. I realized that on the first round, but I'm here to fight. I said I came here to fight, and I want people to follow me to know. That's why I do it. I don't do it to win the fights necessarily. I do it to show people that you can be whoever you want. So, and in the end, I want to be a motivational speaker, and I want people to know that you can be whoever you want if you give it 100%. So I said, you know what? She might knock me out, I might knock her out, but I'm not gonna quit. So I just every time I went back to the corner, they did a little test. I'm like, yeah, I got using this eye to look over there so I can count the fingers. I'm like, yeah, I got you. Let's go. And then referee will ask me, are you okay? I'm like, are you okay? Because I'm about to kill this bitch. You know, like I will make jokes. So he will overlook the fact that my eyes were like this big, right? But that's what you do.
You mean the world famous Dr. Don Musi?
Yep, Dr. Don Musi.
Yeah, I know. Even the referee asked me a few times, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Can you see? I'm like, "Can you see?" Because you're about to see some crazy shit.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now the $1 million question is here, and everyone in the comments are saying it. Are you coming back? I mean, do you have a multi-fight contract with Invicta that's going to keep you away? If you go out and fight Pollyanna on the 28th this month and you beat her, Invicta's probably going to look to bring you right back again sometime soon. Or maybe the BKFC says, hey, we don't really have all that many people for Christine to fight, and everybody in the BKFC fan world wants to see you and her run it back. Would you be willing to come back and sign a contract and fight Christine for her belt?
100%. Like, to me, like, that's why I like working with Invicta. Right now, I'm going to fight one fight deal for this fight, and she just wants you to do whatever you want to do. That's why I love about Invicta FC. They're not so much about just them and growing their promotion. They want the fighter to go where they want to go. So hopefully they won't wait until after my fight to make moves. I already made it clear that I wanted to fight her. I put it up on my page. I commented on all the bare knuckle news that I saw. The fans have been asking for it on their page because I get tagged. I have responded to them. So if BKFC decide to contact me about fighting Christine on a one fight deal, I'll take it. If they want a multiple fight deal and they're offering me some money, I'll take that too. I will spend some time there. Like, I don't have an agenda when it comes to combat sport. I just want to be the best that I can be. And I love fighting. I mean, bare knuckle is a lot easier than MMA because you're only focusing on hands. I know it sounds crazy, but you're only focusing on hands. MMA is really harsh on your body. But so that's why I'm focusing on this right now. And because, BKFC switched their priorities from real fight, which was at the beginning, he would come in and say, I just want you to fight your asses off. Now they went from real fights to abuse and social media following and stuff. And I know that's important, but you can have both. You can have both. Hopefully they have figured out how they can market both. I'm not going to stage a me going and grab Christine's belt and say some bullshit. I'm not going to flash my tits at the end of the fight when I beat the shit out of Christine. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to go there and fight. I know you like that stuff, but you have all the girls that can do the stuff. That's not me. I have other parts of my personality that you can promote. I don't have enough social media follower. Guess what? You're the promoter. So maybe you could promote me like you did with this other girl that just fucking quit.
Come on back. I'm telling you right now, come on back.
Please
go have this fight on the 28th against Pollyanna, and then come on back because
we all want to see it.
Everybody's excited to see you and Christine run it back. Man, and you seem like you're down for it.
We pretty much speak for every single BKFC fan. We say that you need to come back and run it back with Christine. We need to see that.
I am a free agent, but I don't know how big that window is. So if somebody, because I have already turned down a lot of good opportunities, thinking that BKFC was going to realize like, oh, we need Helen back. And they didn't. And I ended up with nothing, like both hands empty. And it made me feel like an idiot. So now, like after this fight, if they wait until after the fight, depending on my performance, big things are going to happen or not. If I go out there and get my ass beat, nothing's going to happen. And they will have a bargain deal. But if I go out there and I beat this chick that's supposed to be way better than me, then I'm going to have a lot of big offers. And then now they're going to have to negotiate against that. So it's a time value of money. It depends on how quickly they want to make this happen. If they contact me now before the fight, then it's more space for negotiation because I don't have the hype of what I'm going to do in my next fight.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, everybody watching is feeling the same way me and Mike are right now. We knew we wanted to get you on here, especially I know you have a fight coming up in Invicta, and if anybody's watched you in Invicta at 125, you're a fucking murderer over there at one. This is a 125 fight again, right? It's a flyweight.
Of course, still? Yeah. I'm never gonna cut weight again.
Yeah, I think you said that last time. 125 is your new home, and you look really great in that division in MMA. But we all seen what you've done in your 2 fights in the BKFC, and like, you know, honest to God, we talked to David Feldman this last trip to Albuquerque, and my number one question for him is like, dude, what next for Christine? Because you really have run out of options here. And he was like, oh, we got to find somebody, we got to find somebody. Well, I think we found someone right here. There you go. Her hands up, man. Whew. I don't know. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I really can't wait. I know Christine would probably even say like, yes, please come over here, because like after that fight, we talked to her just like outside of interviews, and just hanging out. And, you could tell she's like she didn't actually say like, oh, there's nobody left. She's like, somebody's out there.
And she's going to want to get that one back, right? Right,
Mike? I think I think it was her manager said like, oh, we're bringing the belt. What are you bringing to the table? I'm like, this motherfucking hands, one. And 2, like I'm giving Christine the opportunity to show that she's the best in the world, because until she beats me, people are going to keep saying like she's the paper champ. People don't, how fans are. They don't pay that much attention. She's always going to have that shadow. But if she beats me, that's it. She's the best in the world. So I think it's a win-win situation. And also, I don't even care if the BKFC feel like they don't want me to be their champion because last time I vacated the title. Man, let's have the fight 2 pounds higher weight, so that the belt is not involved. You can keep your belt. I don't care about the belt. I just want to beat the bitch.
And last time it was for the Police Gazette belt. The Police Gazette's out of the question now. There's an actual BKFC belt, though. So if you don't want the belt, that's fine. But
maybe it's not that I don't want it, but if they don't want me to have it, guess what? You don't have to put it on the line, because this is not about that. As a fan, I want to see the fight. I don't want to get old, show people the first fight, and they're like, well, where's the rematch? And I'll be like, well, we talked about it, but it didn't happen, and now we're old. No, I don't want to regret that. And I know I will if this doesn't happen. And she will too, because it was such a good fight. It will be easy for me to leave on top, right? Like, yeah, I won. I don't want anything to do with it. But I feel like it's a good idea for her to have the opportunity to get it back, because I think she's one of the best in the world. She's the second best female bare knuckle fighter in the world. No questions. Second best, though. However, I think she deserves, because of the work she's put in and what, the things she's done during the last 2 years, I think she deserves the opportunity to put a stamp on and be the best in the world. And I think that's what this fight gives her. And to me, just give me the satisfaction of any day I can punch this thing in the face without getting arrested. It's a good day. So it's a win-win situation. If the belt's on the line, I love shiny stuff. I think it's my girliest attribute is my love for shiny stuff. But it doesn't have to be. If the promotion feel like, all right, we want you back for one fight, but we don't want you to get the belt and leave, then fine. We'll have the fight at 127. That means the belt is no longer on the line. Let's go.
Now, a Bullfrog Actual says, would she return as a rank
and file fighter, or only for an immediate title shot?
Now, honest to God, it wouldn't make sense to have you fight anybody else, because nobody else on the roster right now warrants a title shot. You left as Police Gazette champion. She lost to you. You would be returning, I believe, an immediate title shot is the only thing that makes sense. So, right, you would agree with that. Or a fight with her, if it's not for a belt, a fight with her is the only one that makes sense if you are to return.
I will think, but if you want me to go to the rankings, I'll do it the same way the previous contender did. I'll fight Rob, Sigella, and Starling on the same night. And then the 2 weeks later, I'll fight Christine. Then
There
I will
you
have
go.
3 fights under my belt, and then I'll take the title shot,
Well, there's your answer. You want her to fight for the title shot? Give her three fighters
fights
in one night, and let's do it.
Seriously, I'll do Rob first because she's an atom weight. We knew that that was Starling's biggest finish, right? Against an atom weight that always quit. She fought the same night that Christine and Starling fought, and what did she do? She quit again because that's what she does. So yeah, sure. You want me to start the contender route? I'll fight Rob, and then Gisela, Gadella, whatever her name is, and then I'll fight Starling. All 3 in one night in that order. Starling will give me a little bit more work, so I want to, just in case she gets a shot in there. Then I'll take 2 weeks off, and then I'll fight Christine.
Well, I think we have our answer, everybody. Helen Peralta always brings personality, always brings a great interview. She fights on September 28th against Pollyanna Botello. But we are very interested in that. We can see, I believe all Invicta fights are streamed on YouTube now, right? They're no longer on any kind of streaming.
Yep. They're trying to grow their name, so that's why it's going to be on a Wednesday where there's nothing else happening. It's going to be on Access TV, on YouTube, on Facebook, and I think one other MMA news channel, because what they really want is everyone that likes to watch fighting, MMA fans, comeback sport fans, to have nothing else to do. You tune in, and then once you tune in, I mean, this is an amazing card. My fight is awesome. I think it's a great matchup, but so are the other fights on the card.
Yeah. Are you the co-main? Are you below Delbani and the other girl?
No, I think that there's co-main and main event is already set. I'm not sure where I'm on the card. I haven't had a time to even look at that. I've been working so hard. I have to drive my car all the way to Georgia. Even my friends, like, I see your messages. I open it. I want to respond, but it's like I'm so tired sometimes. Like, it's so hot where we're training. I look at everything, but I can't respond because my brain is just like foggy. And some of the chat I've been eating probably and not helping. But I'm training with Team ESA kickboxing, and those guys are strong, and there's no air conditioning, and we're doing 20 rounds. It's just, for the next 2 weeks, I'm not paying attention to any of that. Once I get back to drive my car, I have to drive my car back to Iowa and then fly to Oklahoma. Once I get to the venue, I'll have a good 48 hours when I can catch up with everyone else. Right now, I'm focusing on what matters, which is like the learning how to fight part. That to me is more important than anything else. I think that's the best promotion you can have. Go out there and kick some ass.
Absolutely. You are a savage. We can't wait to see you on September 28th, and we can't wait to see you back in the bare knuckle squared circle. We want to speed round you real quick, and then we're going to let you go because you're a busy person. You want to get into one of these speed rounds with us?
Sure. Let's see what happens.
Here you go. Number 1, who's on the female MMA Mount Rushmore?
Who is in there? Female MMA. Like it or not, you can shoot me if you want. Ronda Rousey needs to be there.
Yep, I agree.
Ronda Rousey. Damn, you put me on the spot here.
Come on now.
Ronda Rousey. Damn. Amanda Nunes had to be there.
Yep.
And the 125 champion, Valentina Shevchenko.
There's got to be one more. Got to give one more.
Okay. Valentina Shevchenko and Juliana Pena.
Juliana Pena. There you go. Number 2, Mike.
Why do people suck at driving so bad?
Because most people have not been punched in the face, it changes you. It changes you, like if once you've been punched in the face a few times, you realize the reality of violence, and you realize you don't want violence. I had someone the other day, and I know I should not have done that. This lady just like honking her horn over and over again. I was on a drive-through for Peter Pit. And why are you honking the horn? Like, if something move and I get out of my car, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? She goes, you can go now. I'm like, why are you in a hurry? You look like you can miss. You're so fat. You look like you miss a few meals anyway. And then I got back into my car, and I'm like, oh my God, what happened, Helen?
I blacked out for a second there.
Yeah, because like, why are you such a hurry? You're already fat. This is all stored energy. You can fucking wait.
Oh my
Anyways,
God.
Yeah,
fantastic. I love it, Helen. I love it. Number 3. Who was the last person that you knew you hated the second you laid eyes on them? I feel like you just got that answer. Last person you hated as soon as you looked at them.
As soon as I looked at them, damn, I can't think about it.
Yeah,
I can't figure it.
Let's immediately just slap them in the face. You know?
Immediately.
Yep.
I can't say that because I'm trying to get a job there. I'm trying to get a job in this specific organization, so I can't mention that guy's name, although he's very popular. He's doing a lot of interviews. Let's pick somebody else.
Wow.
Oh, man. Oh, I think that lady for sure.
The lady in the drive-thru. There you go.
The lady in the drive-thru is gonna get
Easy
it.
I mean,
answer.
she was so overweight. I don't understand what her hurry was to get Peter Pitt. It's like, dude, you are covered in a store energy. Like, you can fucking wait a second, you know?
Number 4.
What's the craziest thing you've ever done when you had a few vodka drinks in you? Some vodka.
Oh my God, I hope this lady does not watches this. So I went to a party, and then this girl kicked me out of her party because I told her to shut the fuck up, and apparently she's never experienced that before because she's really rich. And it was her party, and I didn't know. And she said, "Get out of my party." And I said, "I can't leave." She goes, "Why?" I'm like, "'Cause I'm the party, bitch." But anyways, I left her party. I went to some other place to hang out. It was 4th of July, and I told the story, and they didn't believe that that's really happened. So when I told them who it was, and they figured out who it was, like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you told this girl to shut the fuck up." Nobody ever tells her that. She's like, I'm like, "Oh," she's a mean girl. I was like, "Oh, if I knew she was an ass, I would have done more." And they go like, "What?" I'm like, "I would have done more." He goes like, "Oh, I have a boat. We can go back to her house." So we went back to her house, and I dumped the porta potty. I dumped the boat porta potty all over her property.
Oh man.
Helen gets wild.
Dude,
I didn't mean to.
The statute of limitations, she is not she cannot be charged for any of these things here.
That's right.
None of that vandalism there. And the last question for you, this is a toughie. Do you know how to play the game FMK? It's called Fuck, Marry, Kill. You gotta
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, you gotta fuck one, you gotta marry one, you gotta kill one. Here we go.
Oh my God.
All right. Medea,
Oh,
Mrs.
no.
Doubtfire, Big Mama.
Oh no! Can I just kill all of them and then?
No. It's part of the game. You got to marry one. You got to kill.
Oh my
one.
God! But aren't they the same person? No, they're not the same person. I can't, man. I just.
All right. Well,
I tap.
All right, Mike. I'll answer it for her. I'm marrying Mrs. Doubtfire. I'm
really.
I'm killing Big Mama, and I'm gonna have a one-nighter with Medea. I guess that's the way I'm going. What do you think?
You know what?
Is Miss Doubtfire like a good homemaker or something?
She's a white lady. She's
got
good.
No.
She's got a good
Have you ever
credit
seen the
score,
movie?
you know?
She's like the funnest person on the goddamn planet.
Hello.
And Medea is always yelling at everybody.
True.
And Big Mama's just a little too big for me. That's all.
I'm with you on that one.
All right, man. That's it. Helen Peralta, you bring the fire every single time you come on an interview. You deliver. We can't wait to see you fight this a couple weeks from now. But we really want to see you come back to the BKFC. Go ahead and say a few things before you get out of here.
That's it. I don't have any WWE headliner to put out there in order to get this fight. I think this is a fight that people want to see. I think it's a fight that makes sense. If you want me to build my record before I get the fight, give me those 3 fights I asked before same night. Of course, you got to pay me for all 3. Duh. If you have money to pay for nonsense, you also have money to pay for real fight. And I know the nonsense get you views and followers, and I know that's how the world runs now. It runs on views. But guess what? I get messages from Instagram telling me about buying views and buying followers all the time. I just don't do it because that's stupid. But if you want to play that game, you can. BKFC, I get it. I understand how important it is, but you also have to put in good fights because that was disappointing for everybody involved. Too many people were disappointed with the main event. That was not main event quality. Christine did her job. She showed up when she was supposed to do. The girl that you were, robbing everybody's faces, she can't do it. So, I'm here. Let's go.
There it is. Helen Peralta. Thank you very much for coming on, Mike. You got anything else?
Nah, that was awesome. I loved it. Can't wait to see your fight coming up. And let's get you in that squared circle. Have a great night.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Bye, Helen. All right, man, dude. She is a fucking personality.
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell she's not pushed more because I don't remember that personality before she fought Christine the first time. So maybe it wasn't shown. Maybe there weren't shows like this that were pushing that personality out there. But God damn it, man, She wants to come back to the squared circle. She wants to be in the BKFC, and she wants to fight Christine Faria. So it doesn't make any other sense than to just do that. Bring it back. Let's make it happen.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad she had a whole bunch of energy, because the next guest has a whole lot of energy too, which is great because he's our third guest, and he fought on the Albuquerque card just a couple of weeks ago and had a huge knockout, like really, really fast. We heard power like Mike Tyson. That's exactly.
Oh, we got to talk to him about that. We got to talk to him about that. Man, he's the other half of the Super Dodson brothers. His name is Thuggy Bear, Eric Dodson. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on? Thank you for having me.
Oh, man.
How are you guys doing today?
We talked to your brother a few weeks before you guys' event. He told us we need to get you need to get my brother on here. You got to get my brother on here. Now you're on here, man, and you are coming off a very impressive pro debut at BKFC 28, 29, 28, 28. They're all starting to bleed together for me. 28 in Albuquerque, one of the best fight cities we've ever been to. My God, that place was electric. And the Dodson brothers really blew the roof off of that place. They went fucking nuts for you guys. Tell us a little bit about, getting that pro debut, getting that win, and, what was the feeling like in that building for you?
To be honest, it was electric. It was really cool the minute I got up on the stage. Well, prior to that, the weigh-ins and everything like that, everybody was I was received really well. A lot of people wanted to say hi to my brother, but then they were excited that we were both fighting on it finally. We're local names, so it was a good experience. But stepping actually onto the actual platform, getting up there, and when I raised my hands, it felt like I raised the volume in the room. Everybody kind of went nuts, and it was kind of cool, man. I couldn't ask for anything better.
Mike and I have been very vocal about praising the city of Albuquerque and Rio Rancho, that whole area. It was like everywhere we went, everybody knew about the event. Everybody was talking about it. When we would talk to them, they already, like a lot of cities we go to, we have to like kind of preach this shit to people and like kind of sell it. New sport. A lot of people in a lot of cities aren't aware. Whoa. I just heard myself in my headphones. That was weird. But anyways, dude, Nick Villar, he's a local guy to us. He's a New England kid. We have talked to Nick in the past. He's a good dude. We talked to him after your fight, and Nick said, and I am not making this up, he said that was the hardest I've ever been hit in my life. That kid has Mike Tyson-like power. I didn't know that a 145-pounder can hit that hard. He said that.
That's awesome to hear. To be honest, over the times I've heard people tell me that I hit really, really hard. And I got a brother that's crazy fast and crazy hard to hit. So I think my style over time has just accepted that he's going to hit me. And with that, I'm like, if he's close enough to hit me, I'm close enough to hit him. And so I bank on my power, to be honest. It's cool to hear that from him because he's had fights in the past. They've gone the distance. He's been hit a lot as a result of those fights going the distance. So it kind of makes me feel good to hear that the couple of punches I threw were the hardest he's ever been hit, to be honest.
He said that he had been like, he had never, something we learned about Nick that we didn't realize, that he has never had like a true fight camp. He's never had a true head coach. He's just trained at gyms and then gone to these fights that he's signed for. This time around, big boy Chris Jensen took him under his wing, brought him down to Florida, actually trained him and gave him I think it was like a 4 or 6 week camp. He gave him a real camp. And they game planned as much as they could for you on what they knew about you. But he said the second he got hit, the game plan, it was that, the whole Mike Tyson quote, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face. He goes, the second I got hit, the game plan went out the window. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing in there. It was just like.
So, yeah, there's a difference in between. So some people kind of hit you and it pops or it stings, or it's like a flash or a bang. I literally, when I hit you, it pushes you back, and I kind of bank on that, especially with hit mitts and stuff like that. And you tap the mitts, do your little combos and all that kind of fun stuff. But I bank on the fact that my punch pushes you, my punch pushes you, my punch pushes you. So with that being said, I hit him as he comes forward. And when he came forward, he crashed into it with his speed. I crashed into him with my speed, and it gives it that much more power. It's a different style. I more or less jump into my punches. So I'm able to get to you a little bit quicker, but it closes the distance quicker. But there's a brief moment where I'm still in the same position right before I throw it to you. It's super brief, but it's enough to give it that power and that pop. Also with him, I was trying to hit him as he came in, which kind of worked out pretty good for me. So I think that could be where the power came from, to be honest.
So after the night was over and, you're in the back and everything, did you run into David Feldman and have a conversation with him quick? Did he say, hey, we're having you back on immediately? You have any word?
No, I wanted to try to find him and kind of make some noise, to be perfectly honest. I came out to that fight unscathed. I mean, shout out to Nick Villar for taking the fight, but the reality is I came out unscathed, to be honest. I wanted to try to see if I can make enough noise or do something to kind of impress him in terms of that. We're featured on his BKFC app, you know what I mean? So I feel like if this was a job, that's kind of like employee of the month. And so I'm trying to get another fight before the end of the year, close out the year with a good bang. To be perfectly honest, I don't have enough out there for people to study in terms of like films when it's the opponents or for the fans, they can't go and rewatch me. And a fight that short, it's a very short clip. So I can add it to things like social media and things like that. But in terms of like looking at my relevancy over time, I don't have a lot of media. So I was hoping to get another fight to kind of build that. Who knows, get a tougher dude, wear a blood mask, get those pictures, get that kind of fight going to show that I can go the distance. There wasn't really a lot to judge off of that, but man, oh man, I love to fight. So I'm hoping I can get another one soon.
Isn't that kind of like, it's like I don't know, it's almost detrimental to yourself to finish a fight so fast. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't get to display your skill set. You didn't get to put on a show. I mean, you did put on a show, but you didn't get to put on like a long war for anybody. Nobody had a chance to actually like fall in love with Eric Dodson, the bare knuckle fighter, because it lasted 23 seconds or however long it lasted. You know what I mean? Like it was a fantastic performance and it was a great knockout and you blew the roof off that place. Like I said, you threw your hands up and the fucking crowd went crazy. But honestly, like it's almost like, man, I kind of wish I extended that a little bit longer. You know what I mean?
For sure. It did end up being a little bit lackluster, to be honest. The next day was just like an average Sunday to me. Typically on Sundays, I was hitting the mountains. I was going to run, especially the altitude changes in Albuquerque a little bit, especially when you run up those mountains. And so the next following Sunday was just an average day for me. So I didn't get to showcase everything. I felt like it was a little bit bittersweet. It's fantastic. My mom was in the crowd and stuff too. So her heart was like beating out of her chest of thinking of both of her kids about to get into the fight. Some of the fights that went on before us were bloody. And I just know in the back of her head, she was like, geez, what are they getting themselves into? So the fact that mine was pretty quick kind of settled her nerves a little bit. Then she focused on John, but also John's fought a ton, so she's kind of used to it. I think everybody was a little bit more nervous for me. I hadn't fought in about 4 years, and then prior to that, I hadn't fought in like 3 years. And both I ended up losing by like decisions, or one I lost decision, one was to like an arm bar. But with this and there being no grappling and stuff like that, I just know my hands are fantastic. I have a different style for sure. But I've got great training partners in John and a whole bunch of people that we train with. So we brought on a new boxing coach as well, and he's doing fantastic with us. He's not trying to tell us everything he's done in the past or kind of what works with other guys. He kind of sees what you're doing, what our movements are, and he works with that. I'm older at this point, and so and I've had a couple of fights, but I've also trained a lot with a lot of people. For a long time. And so at this point, it's like, man, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You can kind of perfect him and you can kind of harden his steel, but we're sharpening the skill sets that I have. And so it's really fun to kind of see play out. I hope I get another fight before the end of the year to kind of showcase myself a little bit more and just footwork and stuff like that. But man, I couldn't ask for a better showing, to be honest.
You guys still train at Jackson Wink?
My brother bounces around a little bit more. We train over at United Fit a little bit more.
Okay.
I have a regular 9-to-5 job, so it just kind of depends.
And what are you doing for work when you're not training or fighting?
So I do property management. So I deal with apartment complexes. But it's kind of cool. I see a lot of faces. A whole bunch of people came in. A lot of people, especially during our busier times, like the beginning of the month, people pay rent. People wanted to see the video, talk about the video. A lot of people were there and stuff. Made it super duper busy, and it gave me that little. I was isolated. I had to sit at where I stayed and stuff, but people kept coming up, kept asking stuff. So it gave me a little taste of probably what my brother and all of these superstars kind of go through is people nonstop asking him about it, which is a new element for me. Part of the reason I didn't kind of fight was because I didn't like the crowds, I didn't like the cameras, I didn't like the lights. I hate the interviews and asking all that kind of stuff sometimes. Now I'm just kind of growing around it. I've been around it so long. I've been behind the scenes and stuff. So it's a new experience for me, but it's an experience that's transforming because I've had it just in a different avenue.
Right. You've been around it. It just hasn't been you. And yeah, you know, that's amazing. And you know what, like, dude, you and your brother have an energy about you guys. You don't deliver the same words per minute that your brother does, because that guy's on like a fucking, remember those old Micro Machine commercials back in the day where that dude was like, dude, your brother puts out a lot of words per minute. That fucking guy comes with some. He talks fast. He moves fast. When I'm interviewing, he's like fucking moving around the whole time.
He's in fast forward.
But it's not like you don't bring energy too, man. You guys are very similar. You guys are kind of cut from the same cloth. And God bless your mother, man. Growing up, she must be a saint, because having two boys that are fighting. My wife and I are raising two boys. My boys are 11 and 7 right now. And they both do martial. I mean, the littler one got out of martial arts, and he's more into stick and ball sports, baseball, basketball, soccer, football. But they're jocks, right? And my wife would be a fucking wreck if her two boys were fighting people in a cage or in a bare knuckle arena. And your mom had to sit there for both her boys in the same night. You know what I'm saying? Like she must have nerves of steel, that lady.
She does. Our mom's actually pretty tough, man. We grew up basically in the war zone of Albuquerque. So, but we have pictures of my mom putting like little Halloween buckets on our heads, putting gloves on us, having me and my brother battle. Maybe we'll post pictures of that here soon. But yeah, she's always raised us to grow up. We did karate. We did all the different sports too. We did football, wrestling, track, basketball. We kind of did a little bit of everything, but she, from a very young age, she would help us learn how to fight and stuff like that. We grew up in a tough neighborhood, so she encouraged it a lot. But actually seeing us fight it was different at first. She would definitely always be in the crowd crying and stuff like that. But now she's a little bit more reserved. She's our mom, so her heart is always beating through her chest for sure. She tells us she loves us more than anything in the world. And then she says it over and over and over and over again. But you can tell she wears her nerves on her sleeve. You can definitely see it, but she's absolutely a saint, man.
Moms tend to do that, right? That's how they are. They just worry, and they're just always, like you said, she's seen your brother fight aplenty, but she's still there, still nervous, still worried, sitting there telling you the same thing. You're like, all right, Mom, I think you're making me more nervous than I was before you got here. Like, you know, like I can see that if I like being a fighter and your mom, you're like, okay, you're more worried about her than you are about yourself, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Her and my brother during because me and my brother had a fight on the same card. I could tell my brother was wearing it on his face. I haven't fought in a long time, and he was I could tell he was like, oh man, I don't know what's gonna happen, blah blah blah. My brother, fights before us were super duper bloody. When we got in the ring, I looked down at the ring, and then there was blood all over the mats and stuff too. And I could tell my brother was a little bit nervous about it. But during our there's like a staging area where they have you just kind of moving around, just kind of warming up. They put a camera on you as well. And my brother's giving me all the little speeches, you know, he's like, we trained for this, and we worked hard for this, and you've got this, you're Dodson, you're not. I was like, I turned around and I was like, bro, I'm not really new to this. I'm just new to the fans. We've done this for a long time, bro. You could chill with all that. And he was just like, oh, okay. Well, I'll focus on that. Then it kind of like stopped him dead in his tracks. And like you said, he's kind of like an Energizer bunny. I think of him like a puppy. Like when you wake a puppy up, it's ready to play, man. And so it stopped him in his tracks. And I was like, dude, we've done this before. Everybody's done their part in terms of our team. I had a great strength and conditioning coach. He helped me get prepared in terms of that. Our mids coach kind of helped me work out the little details on where I was going to step and do stuff like that. And my brother helped me cut weight, and he helped me train and do stuff like that. So I was just kind of like, everybody's done their part. I mean, you guys have been in the military. I kind of treat it like SEAL Team 6. Like, not everybody's the best sniper, but they know a good sniper. Not everybody's the best with an assault rifle, but they know a guy that's fantastic with an assault rifle. This right here is what I do. So I was ready for my part, and I played a role in it. And then it worked out really, really well for us.
Yeah, well, hey, little secret, for every, every 35 terrible shots in the Army, there's one good shot. You should see range day. You know what I'm saying? You go out to the range and you're like, bro, were your eyes even open? Like, I learned, I'm 40.
That's the one that makes the Instagram. That's the one that makes the social media. Like, did you guys see me hit that one?
Oh,
yeah, but there's shells everywhere, bro.
You guys want to hear a funny story about me? Because I turned 40 last year, so I'll be 41 in a couple months. But my eyes have been getting worse and worse, and I didn't realize it. I was just fucking living my life like blurry, right? And I'm blurry right now. I'm not wearing my glasses. I should be. So we go out on the range like 2 years ago. We go down on the range. I'm a 39-year-old, 38 or 39-year-old guy, and I'm shooting, right? And I'm like, man, I'm hitting. I'm good. We go down there, and I fucking, we're zeroing our weapon. I go down there, dude. I didn't hit the paper once, right? And I'm like, I swear to fucking God, I hit this paper. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way I missed this fucking paper. And the dude next to me, when you zero, you only shoot 3 shots. This guy next to me has 6 shots in his target. And he's like, oh, what's going on here? The guy who's my coach or spotter or whatever that lays next to you, he goes, oh man, you fucking shot at the wrong. I'm like, I can't fucking tell which one's mine. Like, you know what he did? He took his glove off, right? And he like leaned it against the white background of the thing. He goes, shoot at the one with the glove in front of it. I was like, motherfucker, dude, my blind ass. But this last range, I put glasses on and I fucking shot just fine. I was like, well, I guess I just have to succumb to the fact that I'm old and my eyes suck.
You know what, Kyle? You're lucky because the enemy will do the same thing. They'll put on like a bright orange outfit and be like, I'm the enemy. Here, you shoot me.
Yeah. Shoot at the guy with the bright orange vest. Okay, I got it. Yes. Nah, man, it's funny. It is funny. I don't know how we even got into that. You were talking about snipers and whatnot, and I just felt like that would be a fun story to share. Dude, Eric, you're 145 pounds, right? You basically, I think we talked about this. You don't really cut for 145. You kind of stay right around that weight, right?
Actually, I had to cut. I was a fat boy for a while, and then we did the tryouts. And so I came down a little bit to hover around like 160. And that's pretty much where I stay, to be honest. But at one point, I was fat. I was almost 200 pounds for a while. And then
really?
We heard the BKFC was doing it, and I started following the BKFC. We did the tryouts roughly a year ago, and I kept hearing stuff. We put on stuff, and then we would, and I kept hearing different things. So I kind of hovered around that weight. And then I cut down to 145, which wasn't too bad, to be honest. I used to be a 135er, so I'm used to the cut itself. And then unless there's a reason to stay in shape, honestly, don't stay in shape. I enjoy ice cream a lot. And so
well, ice cream is the
yeah,
best.
So I cut down just a little bit, but not as bad as 35, so it was definitely heaven sent.
So with that question, with the way you just answered that one, like what do you walk around? What's your walk around weight right now that you want to stay active and you want to get back in there? What are you walking around at?
So right now I'm staying right about 160. I think I was 161 this morning. But if we get a short notice fight, I can make that with ease, honestly.
I mean, 145.
And then just kind of cut off the water weight closer to the fight, but it wouldn't be a hard cutter. I'm used to cutting. We wrestled in high school. I mean, I've been in high school for years, but we wrestled in high school. My brother's done a bunch of cuts. I've done it alongside him and stuff, just like, people do sympathy pains or whatever it's called, but they kind of cut with him and stuff. So I'm used to fluctuating up and down, but now that there's a reason to get to those lower weights or do different things, definitely I can stay focused on it. To be honest, I like the fight. So people tell me, hey, if you lose 30 pounds, you and I can get it. We can get it. It doesn't really matter.
When we caught up with you guys after the fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And John was saying like, damn, my brother beat my knockout time. You know, we had a little bet. We had a little bet going on. We're not sure exactly what we're gonna do. Did you guys decide on what he has to do now because he lost the bet? You know,
we haven't really, to be honest. It was more like a gentleman's bet. I think we just kind of have that competition, just back and forth. You ever see like Lord of the Rings? There's that like elf dude and that little dwarf dude, and they like go and murder people. But like as they're taking people out,
they're
like,
counting, they're yelling their number
I got
out.
2, I got 3, I got 1. Yeah, and they're like making motions at each other. That's kind of what it is that I'm like, bro, I'll knock that fool out before you did. Or my brother's like crazy fast, and he's like, I hit him this many times, and I'm like, yeah, bro, but I hit him 1 time, and it shows. And so we just have that little competition of who did better in their own respects. Do you know what I mean?
Dude, I love it. That's funny, man. It's just a gentleman's bragging rights type thing, and
Yeah,
that,
for sure.
the Lord of the Rings thing is hilarious because I love that scene when they're on the bridge in front of the castle, and he's like, "That's 30 or that's 17.
Yeah.
I got 34," and he's like, "Ah."
That's exactly us. It's just a little bit more like if somebody's in the gym, we're like, all right, we're gonna get him. And he's like, yeah, I kicked him in the head. And I'm like, that's true. You are very short. You did. That was pretty impressive. But like different things like that, we just kind of compete with each other based on the same opponent or the same, and in this case, the same venue. But yeah, we always just kind of compete on who did a little bit better.
All right, and before we we're gonna hit a speed round with you because it's gonna be fun and you're gonna love it. But BKFC's 145-pound division has some names out there. 155 also has some names out there. Is there anybody that you'd be interested in fighting, or is it basically whoever they want to offer you, you want to take it?
I think saying that you want to fight anybody is always a generic answer. It's people's go-to answer. There is a guy, I don't know what his name is. It's something Steve-O, maybe. It's like he was like number 4, now he's number 5. He called me out. He said that'd be pretty easy to beat. So I definitely want to fight him just to shut him up. But to be honest, I want to fight whoever kind of comes across, whoever names come across the table. I want to get more fights in just to get more experience, to get more exposure. Beating up a whole bunch of people that nobody knows. It still puts numbers on my win column. So that it doesn't matter to me who really it is. I'm not looking to run straight for the title. It doesn't matter to me if they decide I'm worth a title shot for sure. I'll definitely make that. But fighting kind of anybody that comes my way is what we're looking at, to be honest. I don't have a big enough name yet. And I think the bigger checks, the bigger fans, the bigger comments, all that kind of bigger exposure comes from having a lot more notable fights, a lot of fights. And so just kind of getting in the ring, showing people what I can do. I know if I do my part, everybody else, the marketing team and everything else will come together. So I'll fight pretty much anybody that comes my way, but definitely that Steve-O guy who's first to say anything. So he'll be the first one I shut up, hopefully.
I did see that. I think, was that on Instagram? Steve-O Morris. He did.
I
saw you guys in the comments, and he said something, and then you went, "Hey, let's do it."
He said something. I replied, and then he didn't say anything after that. So I guess it was short-lived.
Well, his manager was in the comments earlier, so
I was just
maybe he's still watching.
His manager.
Absolutely. If his manager's in the comments, man, I'm definitely down to make a fight. Get prepared, man. I hit really, really hard, so you better duck.
You know what? And I know that they're planning a Florida card in November. Mm-hmm. If you'd be willing to travel to Florida, Steve-O's a Florida guy. Maybe he would. Maybe they would want to put him on that card to sell tickets and draw a crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. That's in the.
You said you wanted another fight before the end of the year, November in Hollywood, man.
Yeah, I'd make a trip to Florida for sure. In his hometown in Embarrassment, kind of in front of everybody he knows. He's probably been talking trash. That's just kind of how people are. It's kind of cool because when he's at Target, they're gonna be like, "Man, that was a tough fight. You almost showed up, but you didn't." You know what I mean? It's a good feeling to beat people in their hometown because they've got to walk around their hometown. And people they showed up to the event itself. They tuned in, but they've heard you. They went to school with you. They shop around you, et cetera, et cetera. To shut people like that up is fantastic. It's fantastic. Nothing better than that.
you know, here's something for both of you guys. And I was driving home from work today, and I was listening to Jimmy Smith on Unlocking the Cage, the great Jimmy Smith, been around the MMA game for years. And he says that he does not understand. Israel Adesanya has come out and he's like dogging Pereira, the guy he's about to fight, the guy that beat him twice in kickboxing. And he's like shitting on him, like saying his skill set's no good. This is going to be an easy fight for me. And he was like, I never understood why anybody would say something like that, because you're setting yourself up for failure if you lose, right? So like with Steve-O going on online and saying like that would be an easy fight for me, that's an easy win. Does that make any sense to either one of you guys? Like Jimmy Smith made a good point there. Like, why would you say that? And then they make why would they even make the fight if you're going on there and saying that was fucking too easy for me? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess that's true. Man, and when people say stuff like, it's hard to say stuff like that, because when you go back and you watch my brother versus so-and-so, or so-and-so versus so-and-so, or so-and-so versus so-and-so, the thing is, the fighter that showed up that day is not the same fighter. He's either evolved or he's lost some skills. And then also the opponent that they had fought isn't the same person as like me per se. So Steve-O watching me versus Nick Viller, he's not Nick Viller, and I'm going to sharpen my skills. So I've changed just a little bit. He's changed possibly a little bit. So to say I'm an easy fight, it's a hard one, because his training partners aren't my training partners. His altitude isn't my altitude. My brother's speed's fantastic, but he hits like a truck, especially for his size, and I hit like a truck. So it's hard to say that I'm an easy fight unless he's got way better head movement than my brother does, or way better footwork than my brother does. I don't think him moving out of the way of my punches is going to be a big deal. And if he thinks he's just going to stand there and eat my punches, he's in for a rude awakening. I hit crazy, crazy, crazy hard. From what I hear, I've never actually hit myself, but like it's a hard thing to say that I'm just going to stand and bang with him. You're definitely going to hit me, but I'm definitely going to hit you. And the thing is, who's going to come out on top? That's the real question. I'm down to find out though. He's easily hittable. I've seen his fights.
I'd like to see that fight. That would be a nice one for you. Somebody that we've seen him fight in BKFC, and we've seen you fight now. It'd be nice to see you two guys fight each other. But to answer Kyle's question, to build on it, I feel like when people say something like that, oh, this person's not good, or I can beat you easily. If you win, you don't get any credit because you said the person sucked, right? And then if you lose, then you're like, wait, you lost to a guy who you said sucked. So like it's a lose-lose situation either way. And it's like, well, I beat him, so now I get a better opponent. It's like, no, well, you beat a guy that you said sucked. So really, do you get any higher in the rankings? I mean, you can't even argue that you do because you said he wasn't good. So like, what?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like Jimmy Smith, listening to Jimmy talk on the radio today, he was making a great point. He was like, I never have agreed with anybody ever doing that, because it doesn't do anything for you if you win. And if you lose like tenfold. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
the loss.
I think in those terms, sometimes people are just trying to convince themselves more than they are the fans that this is an easy fight. I think they're kind of convincing themselves. They're talking into it, but
also as a matchmaker, though, if you're the BKFC matchmaker, and like, does it interest you to make that fight if this guy is saying that guy is like this easy fight? Like, I don't know. It just seems like a weird strategy. But anyways, I know he's trying to fuck with your head, and he got a response out of you, and you haven't heard back from him yet. But Kevin, if you're watching, if you're in here still, you go ahead, contact Steve-O. Let's go ahead and sign that fight and give me and Mike all the credit in the world for signing it.
Absolutely. Thank you for promoting that fight. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's right. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. I mean, I feel like we're good at this thing.
Contracts in your email. Yeah?
Contract is on its way. Okay?
I appreciate it. I'm trying to fight before the end of the year, so I appreciate that.
You should have it by tomorrow morning. Okay.
Least we could do. It's the least we can do.
Nah, man, but you watched the show. Thank you very much for hanging in there in the weight room while we were talking to Helen. As you can see, she's a ball of energy and she's fired up and she wants to fight Christine Faria. And you were there for that one. You watched that one. You've seen, I don't know if you've seen Helen Peralta fight, but go back on the app and check out the first Helen and Christine fight, and you'll be fired up for the next one too. So thanks for hanging in there with us. We're going to do a speed round with you, Eric, and then we'll let you get out of here for the night. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Speed round with Eric Dodson, Thuggy Bear himself. Where'd the nickname come from?
Honestly, so my style is a little bit more Thuggy style. I don't do everything as like you should, I think. I don't throw the straightest punches. I kind of curve over the top. I do a little bit different stuff. But honestly, a long time ago, John Jones had posted a picture or a video of me and Ricky Escobar training, one of my training partners. And he said, look, that's John's brother. That's John Dodson's brother. I always tell him he's one of my favorites to watch because he fights like a thug. And then he's like, look at him. Looks like a street fight, doesn't it? And then from there, people started calling me Thuggy Bear because John Jones had posted it.
There it is, man. That's awesome. That wasn't the first question of the speed round, by the way. I just wanted to know where that came from. All right, number one on the speed round with Eric Dodson. We were just in Albuquerque. We were not impressed with some of the food that we ate in a few places, but we were kind of on the run working the whole time. So the question is, what is the best spot to get dinner in the Albuquerque, Rio Rancho area? So next time we go down there, we get a good meal.
It depends. What kind of food do you like? We always say you have to try red chili, got to try green chili. We have a local spot here in town. I like seafood a lot. We're half Asian, half black. But it's called Crack and Crab. It's one of those boil in a bag kind of places. It's fantastic though. It's one of the spots you have to try.
Crack and Crab.
Yes, sir.
Dude, there we go.
Smoke a little crack, eat a little crab. That's good.
Yeah. Now that I don't think that's what it's about, Mike. All right, number two.
Shit. Number two, when was the last time you instantly regretted doing something?
Last time I instantly regretted doing something. Anytime I decide to do jujitsu against my brother and then he grabs the leg or me really, really fast, I'm kind of like, hey, I wish I didn't do that. I wish I didn't do that.
Yeah. Let's just stick to standing on our feet and throwing hands, right?
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I got another. My niece, my brother's got three kids. My niece will put her fingers in your mouth. It happened to me recently, just after the fight. I keep her on my shoulders. She's 3 years old. I put her on my shoulders all the time. I always bite her fingers or whenever she puts her hands in my mouth. She did it last time, and they have like a picture of her like digging deep in her nose and then just shoving it down in my. I will never bite her fingers straight out the gate again. I will always check where those hands have been. Wipe them off. This girl duped me into eating boogers the other day, and I will never. That is something I instantly regret.
Pro tip: kids' hands are the dirtiest hands.
Jesus Christ! That I'll tell you right now.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Like that's one thing that that right there, that makes my stomach turn right now thinking about it. I might have spiked my niece or nephew like a football. Oh my God.
New nickname, Boogie Bear.
Boogie Bear. Terrible. Oh my God. Great answer, but fucking terrible. All right, number three. Who's a celebrity that everyone loves that you think is a complete douchebag?
Thinks is a complete douchebag. One celebrity that everybody loves that I think is a complete douchebag.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I have a good answer for that.
You know that one person that you've seen? You go, I don't know why anybody likes this person. I think that it's pulling the wool over everyone's eyes. Like, this person's a piece of shit. I can tell you who I know, who I think it is.
Who is it?
Demi Lovato.
Mike's answer is Demi.
I think she is one of the worst human beings on the face of the friggin' earth. I swear to God, I have a whole theory behind this, and I can prove it.
Elaborate. I need time to think of my answer.
Okay, so Demi Lovato, go out there, and I studied. I've seen this because my wife is a fan of hers and everything, and I really didn't know anything about her. I just know she sings and this and that, and I know she had some issues, right? But I started to notice that she has an issue or something going on in her life all the time. So it's always the worst issues that anyone can have. So like a drug addict is addicted to drugs. She's been addicted to drugs. People are suicidal. She's been suicidal. People in the military has PTSD. So basically I told people in work, I said, you can look up any of the worst stuff that can happen to people. And if you look it up, Demi Lovato, PTSD, articles come up. Demi Lovato, weight issues, it comes up. Demi Lovato, drugs comes up. Demi Lovato, depression, that comes up 100%. If you look up Demi Lovato,
that's so funny.
What was the latest one? Oh, she changed her pronouns. So there are people out there that change their pronouns. They have, you know what I mean? It's their own issue. This is like, now she changes her pronouns, but now she's back to being regular. Every single problem. She's just somebody who sucks off of other testicular cancer she had. Right. That's the thing, but that's how she is. I swear to God, if you look up any issue that people really have, these are serious issues that people have. She's had them all. She's had them all.
That is so goddamn
she's
funny.
She's a liar, and I don't believe her. I think she's a piece of shit.
I like that. I don't think I can top that answer.
I'm sorry.
That was fantastic, Mike.
It's so true. We did it. We looked it up.
Man, that was great. And I don't know if he could top that, so we're not going to let him. Number 4, Mike, your question for him.
If they were making a movie starring the Dodson Bros, what would it be called and what would it be about?
I think if they made something about the Dodson Bros, it would be something more anime related. Me and my brother grew up watching anime. Anime is big right now, but like Saturday morning cartoons when you were growing up, watching X-Men and stuff like that, Ninja Turtles. It's not really a thing anymore because you can stream anything instantly. But that one day of the week, you could always watch it. I think if it was the Dodson Brothers, it would be something more around cartoonish, more relatable stuff. I don't know what it would be called. Gosh, these questions are good questions. Probably if they made a documentary about me and my brother, it would probably be called The Tortoise and the Hare, because his logo and everything like that is Speed Kills, and he's so fast. And it took me a while to get here, but I'm finally here. So I'm making a big splash. So I think that it would be called The Tortoise and the Hare.
I love that answer. But if you and John could do us a favor, right?
Yeah.
You get a hold of your manager, or if you guys have an agent or someone like this, right? The Super Mario Brothers movie was the worst fucking movie ever made, and it was about one of the greatest video games ever made. I believe John Dodson as Mario, you as Luigi, you guys can make a legit Super Mario Brothers movie where you guys actually implement fucking some martial arts in that shit, fuck up the Koopa Troopers. This movie would sell. I'm telling you right now, Super Mario Brothers starring the Dodson Brothers.
Oh my God, I love that pitch. I'm on board 100% with that.
Let's make this happen. God, we're making magic tonight. I'm telling you, we're making
great. This is great.
We're the greatest. We're the smartest people alive. We're smartest. We're the smartest.
The smartest people. We're wicked smart. You never
smart.
meet people so wicked smart like we are.
No. Hey, John. I mean, not John. Fuck. Eric. Last one for you, dude.
No, we call that a stunad. He's a stunad.
True or false? Daniel LaRusso was a total tool, and the only reason why he beat Johnny Lawrence in the 1985 All Valley Karate Tournament was pure luck.
Dang,
I'm kind of throwing my own opinion at you right now.
Yeah,
I'm projecting.
For sure.
I'm projecting. Is it true or false?
True. Total luck.
Been saying this shit since
You
I
could
was
never
6.
pull that off again.
Never. That crane kick was bullshit.
Johnny
Daniel
would have kicked his ass every day of the week.
Let me tell you something, man.
Day, yeah.
Every single time me and my older brother Ryan played Karate Kid in the living room and we were fucking throwing down with each other, I was always Johnny because I fucking hated Danielson. Bam, right there in your bonsai tree, man. I hate the way he says bonsai too. Like he says bonsai. Come on, man. I know that's the I know that's the proper way to say it, but you're fucking from Jersey. Come on, dude.
Yeah, cut the shit.
I've never
Cut it out.
realized that. Now I will never unhear that when I watch it.
Yeah. Bonsai. Come. You're from fucking Jersey, Daniel. I'm getting shushed by the wife right now. I'm sorry, guys.
He's a dweeb. That's what it is. So, but anyways, awesome speed round. That was great. This was awesome. We've dragged this out a little bit here because, see, this is what happens. We get 3 awesome guests on, and then the guests, I know I messaged you. I was like, hey, we're running about 10 minutes late after the Ben Rothwell. And then you come on, and we're like going on 15 minutes after Helen Peralta late. And I'm like, damn it. He's like sitting, like, now we're going to be like 20, 23 minutes late. But you know what? These have been great guests. You guys, you've been awesome. So we've kept you on a little longer than maybe we bargained for here. Like we asked you rather, but it's been awesome. So, hey, we could probably talk to you for another 25 minutes, but we won't do that.
Absolutely.
We will not make you suffer.
Guys having me on.
Thank you.
You are welcome back anytime. Your performance in Albuquerque was fantastic. You really planted your flag in the BKFC 145-pound division. Steve O'Morris seems like a good opponent for you next.
Mm-hmm.
You came out unscathed. Your hands seem fine. You seem fine. We hope to see you back in there before the end of the year. We'll give you a second to say a few final words, and we'll let you get on the way.
No, absolutely. I just want to thank you guys for having me on the show. I haven't done a lot of interviews, and I'm not real good at them, I don't think. So this is an absolute delight, to be honest. It's good for me to do, get people out there. Like I said, I don't have a lot of content or anything like that. So doing things like this kind of helps me get more comfortable with it. I'm comfortable in the cage. I'm comfortable in the gym. This is the stuff I need to grow. So I appreciate you guys very, very much for like letting me on these kind of shows and to be on the same show as Ben Rothwell. I've seen him 100 times fight on TV. So it's kind of cool to kind of be included within that, and Helen Peralta and all that. It's a cool experience, to be honest. So I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you. I am confident that you have gained some new fans while they're watching this show tonight, and they're all itching to see you get back in there after that performance you put on in Albuquerque. So thank you for coming on. We look forward to seeing you again, and we'll talk to you down the road, buddy.
Absolutely. I'll see you in Florida.
Hell yeah. All right.
Hell
there
yeah.
we go.
Yep.
Yeah, we want our cut. We want our cut for sure.
Deal.
Later.
Bye.
Oh, man. That's fucking – that guy is awesome, man. I got to tell you, man. It's guy. Listen, I'm not going to toot our own horn.
Look at me. I'm cheesing over here.
Mike, we're an easy conversation. That's what it comes down to.
What can I say?
I don't know say. Yeah, you know, dude, what a fucking show, dude. Ben Rothwell brought it. He was fired up.
Yeah.
He's so fired up to fight.
That was
Bobo.
awesome.
That was great. Helen Peralta was fired the fuck up. Wants that Christine Faria. She says she'll fight 3 girls in one night. Give her 2 weeks. I'll fight 3 girls in one night. Give me 2 weeks, and then I'll fight Christine. She was fired up. And
they all gave us work for tomorrow. Sheesh.
Right. And then Eric Dodson, who does not do interviews very often, he admitted it right there at the end. He told us when we met him in Albuquerque. He was great, man. Fucking fantastic. Great show. Thank you guys. Thank all you guys for coming on tonight. Thank you for tuning in to everybody. I you know, she kind of copped out on the Medea missed out fire Big Mama question.
We're gonna have to give her a hard time about that. Absolutely guys, gonna have to do it.
Saturday night, BKFC 29 in Great Falls, Montana. Main event, Teresa Segala versus Britton Beltran for the inaugural BKFC 115-pound title. Mm-hmm. You got Joe Riggs and Josh Dyer. You got Kai Stewart and Rusty Crowder. You got Gogo Slavetsky on that card. You got Louis Lopez on that card. You got Jenny Savage on that card. Brian Maxwell and Bercier. It's a really good card. Once again, BKFC is delivering a really good card. And for $4.99, you can get this fucking app and you can get all these events. It's really insane to me that it only costs that much money. It really is, because that's basically giving that shit away. So Saturday night, Mike and I are toying with the idea right? We're toying with an idea.
We have been toying
of a possible fight companion, and keep your eyes peeled for that. If we announce it, it's happening. So I hope you're all tuned in. If you guys don't want to listen, if you guys want to listen to Two Stew Nods talk about the fights while the fights are going on, get us on your phone, put the fights on the TV, listen to us, watch the fights. I think it'll be a good time. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, it very well could be, and we may do it. We do have some drill this weekend, but, you know, we're tossing the idea. We haven't done it for a while. Actually, we've only done it one time ever, and that was Tampa 1. So, you know, we're going to be available. It's later at night. The kids are going to be in bed. The wives are going to be mad that we're too loud, but we will be doing it anyways because we are dedicated. Dedicated.
Dedicated. Motivated. Are you about to do a cadence right now?
Yeah, well, I was about to do it. I had to stop myself and go all the way in.
All right, relax. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in this week. Thank you to all of our guests that came on. Another back-to-back fucking great nights. Well, with that said, we will see you guys Saturday night, BKFC 29, Beltran Segala, world title fight. Mike, what do you got for these peeps?
I'm done, man. I'll see you guys hopefully, maybe, possibly on Saturday.
Peace.